And I found the way to get well. And I'm so grateful to the God of my understanding that He has brought me this far and never has left me. And we are on Steps on Sundays. First of all, I want to say to everyone that comes up on my site and everyone that knows me knows when I speak real. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. The resurrection of the God of our understanding is such an amazing thing to live and see once again another year. I want to give let me go back. Take a moment of silence for the addict that's still suffering in and outside of these walls. Morning, day, evening. You don't have to struggle no more. My God. Thank y'all. Thank you so very much. Look. Easter is the most important time of the year for me. It ain't Christmas, none of that. It's Easter. Shout out to the group homes who helping people get their lives back on track. Hey, Cynthia. Love you, baby. Get their lives back on track. Shout out to the treatment facilities for the men's and the women's that's struggling, that's trying to find their way to learn about this disease of an addiction. Shout out to the therapists, to the doctors, to the therapists and the counselors who do such amazing job of helping people get back on track, get their lives together, find a new way to live, learn about this disease of an addiction. See, because I didn't know about this disease of an addiction. All I knew that I was addicted to something that I couldn't stop doing. And that became an addiction for me. Jermaine, hey baby, how you doing? So, my thing is, when we come to understand that this is an addiction, then we got to treat it like it's an addiction. This ain't something you play with, because it's killing people. It's taking our peoples out of here. It's taking lives. It's separating homes. It's destroying relationships. It's destroying marriages because of the addiction. And the best thing that I gave myself, that I am so grateful for, is having the knowledge to want to understand this disease and how it works. And once I got to find how it worked, I had to continue to find answers. I have to continue now. Because we get clean don't mean we get healed all at one time. It's a healing process. And people don't understand that. It ain't, I got issues that I still have to work on. How I hold on to stuff when somebody hurt me or, even though I say I be still and I ain't let nothing, you can't hide your feelings. I ain't perfect, but I'm better. Only due to the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program. This step right here is such a powerful step. And I love this step 11. Because step 11 says we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God. As we understood Him. Praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and carry the message out. What is the message? What is the message? The message is what we learn. The message is what we went through. The message is what we can tell another individual we understand. We've been there. We done that. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. If I can do it, hey Robin, good to see you, baby. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Ain't no certain person or certain favorite when it comes to the disease of an addiction. It's going to hit everybody. And I know what I'm talking about because I got, I'm a people person. I know doctors that's in treatment. I know lawyers that's in treatment. I know school teachers that's in treatment. Bus drivers that's in treatment. And they made it. They still recovering. Okay, Renee, so what is you really saying? Well, what am I really saying is that we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God. Renee, what do that mean? Okay, we sought. I looked the words up and we sought. And I didn't have to too much I didn't have to too much search because I already know. I already know because I had to go through that. It said we sought. What is sought? Sought means you're looking for something. You're looking for a way out. You're seeking for some answers. You're seeking for some help. And when I came in, it says we, but now I'm gonna talk about me. I sought. Hey, Deanna, that's my baby. Good babies. Thank you, Deanna. We sought through prayer. See, when you get to where you in a land of nowhere, and there's no hope, there's no clarity, there's no foundation, there's no path. It's gonna take you to the point where you need to seek. And I had to sought through prayer. That means I had to get a connection. I had to get a loving, kind God that can understand what I'm going through and what I need. And in that finding, I found out I was messed up. In that finding, where I had to meditate and talk with God and get some answers, and I realized one thing. Renee, you so lost. You so lost. You so lost. And I was so lost. I was so dumbfounded. I was so confused. So I sought through prayer. Come on, God. I need you. I need your attention. I need your attention. For the first time in my life, I'm seeking for your attention. I had to sought through prayer to get a connection, to understand what I'm dealing with. And what I was dealing with was a disease of an addiction that had me someplace in my life that I didn't like. God knows I'm telling the truth. I ain't never seen a perfect addict. People, some people say, well, you know what? I just fake it and until I made it, and I'm just faking it till I make it. Ain't no faking. Not with this disease. Ain't no faking till I make it. Ain't no faking. When you sought through prayer, you will leave the faking out. We seeking for something. I need to do some soul searching. I need to ask God, what is it about me that don't want to even change? Don't even want to take a chance on my life to make things better. What is it, Renee? What is it that you want to keep getting high and keep killing yourself over slowly and keep taking your money and buying something that you know that's going to hurt you? What is it? That's why I had to sought through prayer, because it had got to a point I didn't know if I was going or coming. I was just I was just here living. And I tell you what, when you saw through prayer and meditation, man, you doing something. Man, because, hey, Charlotte, good to see you, baby. When you saw through prayer and meditation, that means you seeking for something. That means you seeking for some answer. You seeking for some things that you ain't never asked God about. You know, you taking accountability because you know you messed up. I know I was messed up. When I talked about on Friday night, you know, when you get to the deepest point of your life where you want to take your life, when you get to the deepest point of your life where you want to commit suicide, something ain't right. Something ain't right. I told y'all, let me bring it in because that's where I had to sought. When we sought through prayer, when I had to gun to my head and somebody dropped out of, I don't know who it was. When you push to the limit, that was Friday. When you push to the limit, you'll do anything. When you pushing yourself to the limit, and when I say anything, anytime you want to take your life and you didn't give yourself life, you in trouble. But you know what? I feel so good today. I had to give God all the thanks today. I had to take the God of my understanding and tell him how proud I am for you to be the father to me. Because see, I can't go wrong if you my father. And thank you for that person who came out the bush when I had the gun to my head on the side of my house. Thank you. And I sought through prayer. And I was a praying addict. You know, because in my house, mama didn't play that. In my house, we would serve God. I was brought up right, but we make mistakes. We make mistakes. We ain't perfect. You know, now I kind of understand what my son going through being in jail. You trying to act like you showing off and you perfect and you got all the answers. That was me. So sometimes the wreckage of our past will come up through our kids. Will come up through our kids, and then you'll realize, man, God, please come in, step in. But when I saw through prayer, things changed. Something started happening that didn't happen before because I wasn't serious before. But as I saw through prayer and meditation, that means I had to get alone. I had to go to myself. I had to move around and get in a quiet place so God can hear me and I can hear him. See, God been hearing me, but I wasn't hearing him. See, I wasn't hearing God. God had been talking to me when I was smoking dope, drinking, in the danger zone, partying. He still heard me, but I wasn't hearing him. So when I saw through prayer, the shift in the atmosphere changed. He had my attention. Things started moving. Things started looking clearly. He got my attention because I sought for his attention. I sought through prayer for him to come in and change my life and tell me where I'm going wrong. Tell me, you know, why I can't stop hurting myself. And I got to that point to where when I sought through prayer, I felt special. Now that's for me. I'm telling you what happened for me. When I sought through prayer, something that I had never did before, praying to God, is different from when I sought through prayer and meditation, things happen. That means I was meditating on strength. I was meditating for hope. I was meditating to deliver me from this disease of an addiction. And I had multiple diseases. I had multiples. I'm going to say it again for the ones who came on. Happy Easter to you all, everybody. But when I decided to do something different happened for me. See, you ain't going to get nothing to happen for you. You ain't going to get nothing to happen for you if you don't let what you need to show you how to let it happen for you. You know, because we the self-centered person. We want to do it our way. You can't tell me nothing. You know, I don't know if y'all was like that, but I know I was like that. I was hard-headed. I was one of them hard-headed kids. You know, brought up around money all our lives and thought money was going to handle everything and fix anything and manage everything. And, that's why I know how some of these people feel that's got a lot of money, because we were brought up with money. We were spoiled brats. We were spoiled brats, and I ain't gonna lie. We didn't want for nothing. But when I sought through prayer, I wanted him for everything. I wanted him to show me how to surrender. I didn't want to surrender. We don't want to stop when something is making us feel good and we ain't got to worry about nothing. But I saw through prayer. I stayed in a place on my bending knees. I mean, something took a hold of me. And that's when I know I have finally learned how to say, search me, oh God. I can't do it no more. I can't do it no more. It had got me to the point where I want to take a bunch of pills and kill myself. And then I want to jump over. Oh, boy, y'all just don't know what this... I hate this disease. This disease. I hate this disease because it hurts people. It destroys people's lives. It make you become the good person that you used to be, and now you this ugly, self-centered person that you don't even like who you are, but because something you can take to make you feel good, forget about how you feeling, forget about the pain. I got something to take the pain away. But one thing I found out, the drugs of this disease, the drugs only took the pain away for a while, for a few hours. When reality come back, pain still there. Trying to figure it out, still there. Trying to sort where I'm at, still there. And so when we sought through prayer and meditation, that means we done made a step up. It got our attention. Now we meditating. What is meditating? Meditating is when it's something real unique between you and God. And it's only a conversation for you and God. Nobody else is there. Nobody else is around you. You asking God for help. You telling God your desires of why you want to stop using. You got a conversation with God where he's been waiting for a long, long time. And to be honest, I know he was waiting for me for a long time. Hey, Sabrina, how you doing, baby? Good to see you. I know God was waiting on me. Because even when I was getting high, I knew what I was doing was wrong. But it felt good. It made me feel a little different. It made me escape from reality that I've been hurt. Or I've hurt people. And I don't know how to change that. I don't know how to stop using. All I know how to fit in where I get in. I don't know how to not go to a bar. I don't know how not to drink. I don't know how not to take pills. I did it all. From acid, you name it, I done it. The only thing that I tried one time was heroin. And it had me so crazy that I got in a car and thought I was flying. And all these people were looking at me. I'll never forget that. It's just some drugs just, I mean, none of the drugs is good. Don't get me wrong. But to try something different like heroin, that scared me. But it didn't scare me enough to stop using drugs. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve. You heard what it said? To improve. Why do I need for it to improve? Because you've been lost. You ain't been paying attention. You've been doing it your way. For how long? How long have I been doing it my way? Too long. So when it says to improve, that means I wasn't doing a good job. Falsifying and lying and pretending I wasn't doing a good job. So when it says we had to sought through prayer and meditation to improve. To improve what, Renee? To improve our conscious contact with God as we understand Him. Come on. Come on. I see my sister Evangelist Selena is on here. Good to see you, sis. Conscious contact with God. See, this step is a deep step, because by the time you go from 1 and you get to 10 and you finna step into another. You finna step into another thing. That step 11 told me up. And not in a bad way. It helped me realize that I needed help. It helped me realize I can't do this by myself. It helped me realize that I needed a personal contact with God. You know, and people say, well, God didn't give me. Hey, whatever God did for you, they ain't got nothing to do with me. Right now, I'm seeking everything I can get out of Him so He can help me get my life together. I have destroyed my life. I have did some things that I am not proud of. I have did some things that made me cry at night to go to sleep. I have did some things that caused me embarrassment in front of people. I lowered my character. My personality wasn't the same. I lived to use and used to live. I woke up wanting to use, and I went to bed using. So when it says that meditation to improve my conscious contact with God or our conscious contact with God, it means what it say. Because you got to have a personal relationship. In this step here, 11, this is a bad mamma jamma right here. Because it's going to bring out some things that you didn't even know that you can connect with God on. God knows all anyway. He one of them type of men I wish I could have in my life every day. He knows what you're thinking, what you're doing, how you're hurting, how you've been broke, and you broken. He understands everything about you. Conscious contact with God. See, I used to pray to God. I was a praying addict. So when Helen Baker sang that song, I was a praying addict, I understood what she meant. When Helen Baker said she was a praying addict, I understood what she meant, because it was me. It was me. I was lost in the land of the dead. A walking, I see these movies, how these mummies, and they be walking. They don't know where they're going. They don't know nothing. They just walking. That was me. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have no hope. All I wanted to do was die. I couldn't get it together. I kept making mistakes after mistakes. I kept lying to myself over and over and over again. So what is it for me to do nothing but to seek, but to sort out through prayer and meditation. Okay, what is meditation? Meditation is, when you at the lowest point of your life, and sometimes, let me take this back. You ain't got to be at the lowest point of your life, because I meditate today, and I'm clean. But in that journey of coming in out of the danger zone, you got to learn to get into the meditation on a daily basis. Some people only meditate when they're hurting. Some people only meditate when they can't figure out what's going on. Some people meditate for a higher closeness to God. That's where I'm at all the time. Sometimes I have to bite my teeth from saying something, because the addiction that I had allowed me to be careless, ugly, mean. And when I look at my life today, how a program, 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program, helped me change everything about me. So when it says a conscious contact with God as we understood Him, the way you understand God, it might not be meant for me. I don't understand God like you understand God, and I'm not supposed to. You know why? Because you're supposed to have a personal a relationship with God. And everybody talk to God. I hate to tell y'all this, but I can get ghetto with God. And I ain't got to worry about no feedback. Come on, God. Come on, homie. What you doing? Come on, God. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm waiting. See, I like God. He's a God of my understanding, that I can come to Him long as I'm coming to Him in truth. I can come to Him being like me, the change in me. I talked to God. People told me, say, you can't question God. And I had a deep conversation. The lady wanted to jump on me, because I said, you can't. She said, well, you can't question God. I said, I've been questioning God ever since I can remember. Ever since I can remember getting high, I've been questioning God. Where are you, God? Why can't you help me out? What's the problem, God? You see me struggling. Come on, God. I can't put the dope down. Come on, God. Where you at? I can't do this, God. You supposed to be helping me, God. I can't do that. So where you at? Okay, God, why did this happen? Why you take my son from me, God? Why did my son come from California to come to me and go in his bed downstairs and die on me? I had to question him. So can't nobody ever tell me that I can't question God. Because I've been questioning God all my life. And I'm going to say something you ain't going to believe unless you've been there. When you question God, you're going to get your answer. Renee, I brought your son home. I brought your son home because I was finna take him. And I wanted him to be in the presence of his mother. That was my answer. As we understand God. I don't care about how Mary understand Him or how Dick or Joan understand Him. I don't care about that. I need to care about how I understand God. Thank you. How I understand God. What is the relationship between me and God? Why do I need to go in meditation? Why do I need to keep seeking out? And I sought through prayer to get God for my own personal use. See, I got a God of my understanding. That's my personal God. I take everything to Him. And when I learned how to surrender I had to learn what surrender means. Surrender means, you say things, you do things, you can't take it back. You got to stand on it. You got to stand on your word. And when I was using, I didn't have a word. I had lies, manipulating people. I didn't know what it was to have a word. My word is, I need some money. I want to get high. I want to rob. I want to steal. I want to take. I want to hurt. So when I sought through prayer and meditation, something happened. I started looking at my thoughts had started to change. And that was something different for me. My thoughts was all about hurt and pain. My thoughts was all about how I can get somebody to do something for me. My thoughts has started to change. Only because I sought through prayer and meditation. Only because I gave up trying to pretend like I got it like that. Like, I ain't gonna die. I'm gonna keep smoking drugs and I ain't died. It ain't gonna kill me. But I had to sort through prayer and meditation to understand what was I seeking? What was I looking for? Why did I have to sort through prayer? That's a conversation. And I love to pray. Prayer is what brought me through. Prayer is what keeping me going. Prayer helps me make the different decisions. So when I saw through prayer and meditation, that was the best gift I had gave myself in a long time. I never used to meditate. I would be high and praying. I never meditated. Meditate means sometimes I go to the lake. And while the kids doing their thing, I sit on the rocks and I read and I get in a quiet place. And I have a conversation with God. God, now I understand why I pushed myself to the limit. I understand why, God, I did that. Because I had to find a different push. I had to have a different button to push that's going to react to something different that I had been used to. Says a conscious contact with God. I talk to God all the time. I sit in my truck. It ain't a certain place you got to be in to talk to God. He accepts you wherever you at. You can be on the toilet. I pray to him on the toilet. I pray to him in the living room. I pray outside in my truck. I remember one time I was sitting there just looking at the park and I was praying, and the man next door, he's so cool, him and his wife, he knocked on my window. Renee, you okay? And I jumped. He said, you okay? Girl, you been out here about a couple of hours. And I said, yeah, baby, I'm fine. I'm just having a conversation with a God of my understanding. And he threw his thumb up. He said, okay, I was just checking on you. See, when you change your atmosphere change you. And people don't believe that. If you hang with the loser, you're going to become that loser. If you hang with the people who love to do drugs and alcohol, that's what you're going to become. That's what I did. And that's how I became addicted to drugs and alcohol, trying to fit in, trying to be like somebody else, trying not to feel what I needed to feel and go through. Sometimes we think that's the easy way out. But come on! It ain't. It ain't the easy way out. The easy way out, you seek God. You talk to God. You ask God for help. And when I came in treatment, I asked God a question. Why couldn't I find all this help when I was using? I got people now I can go any time of the day and go to them and talk to them and have a conversation because it's a unity thing. I can walk in the room and ain't been there in 2 or 3 weeks and it's like I never left. You know, it's like I got a whole new foundation, a whole different kind of family that's been delivered off of drugs and alcohol, that's been at the bottom like me, that's been on the top like me. You know, so this program, you know, that's what I love about God. I hate this to see, but I love about God because God, you know, sometimes God will answer you real quick. Sometimes God will take a while. And sometimes he do it just like that. I said, God, you know, when I saw through prayer, I'm seeking for something. I was lost. I got high every day. 365 days in a year. If it wasn't drugs, and if it wasn't alcohol, if it wasn't pills, and I'm still here. And you think I ain't grateful? You think y'all shouldn't be grateful? Yeah, we're going to go through some things. Yeah, we're going to be disappointed. Yeah, we're going to be knocked down to where we think. But we found a new way to live when we saw through prayer and meditation to improve. Improve. I like when it said improve. Because every day you can improve yourself better. Every day that I read, I'm improving myself. I'm having a different conversation with God. I'm having a personal relationship with God. Ain't nothing no better than having a personal relationship with God. I don't care what people say. You know, I told you one time I got mad. I was at a meeting and I told you this man was a atheist or whatever. And he was telling the newcomer, well, it ain't no God. I don't believe in God. And I knew I had changed. I knew these steps that I work on and study to bring into my life, to help me understand why I reacted to that. Why did I do that? And I had to sit there, and I think I talked about this before. I had to sit there and listen to this man that didn't know. But the only thing that got me, you talking to newcomers. And newcomers are the most important ones of all. It reminds us that it's still doing. It reminds us where we used to be. It reminds us how we came in. It reminds us how scared we were. You know, newcomers is the most important people. That's why I go to meetings and and when he said that, you know, I wanted to bust him out. Come on, Renee, you can't do that. The God of my understanding said you can't do that. You've been working on something. You can't do that. You know, take them off to the side. And I did. I said I didn't like that. I said because they newcomers. They already coming here confused because they trying to figure out how to stop getting high. They trying to figure out why did they do this, why they homeless. They trying to figure out how they lost their kids. They trying to figure out how they lost their mind, how they don't have no clothes, how they walking in the street, how they living in the basement, how they living in the garage. They are already broken. That's why we have to talk through prayer and meditation and to prove our conscious contact with God. So we can help another individual. We can carry that message out. We can tell them about hope. We can tell them about possibility. We can tell them if you don't ever have to use again. No matter what. We don't ever. No matter how low I get or how angry I get or how hurt I'm feeling, I ain't using no matter what happens. If you can bury your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your niece and cousin, and if you can still go to funerals, and if you can still lose a loved one that's been a part of your life, and you don't pick up, you finally found a way to deal with hurt. Because hurt coming. Don't think you exempt. Don't think you might be having fun this week and next week might be chaotic. It's one thing after the other. How many of y'all had a week where if one more thing happened? I've had. Well, seemed like one thing happened The next thing happened. But you know what I do? I talk to God. I said, God, you're going to figure it out. You know, all my life I had to try to struggle to fix, manage, and control. Now what I do, I just chill. But if you say something that I know that ain't fair to them newcomers, and I know they broken, because I know when I came in I was broken. I was broken so bad I didn't know if I was going or coming. I had to go back and forth when I got to the door to go in treatment, because a part of me wanted to live and a part of me wanted to continue to use drugs and die. Honest truth. So when that says improve our conscious contact, the only way you can improve it is to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. You can't just do it today and then let it go away. I do it every day. Because that's how you get your strength from. That's where you get your answers from. That's where you get more hope from. You know, more stability from. You know, turning your life over to the care of God as you understand Him. So this step I told you was powerful. Praying only. Listen to what it said. Praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry the message out. What I'm doing? From the knowledge that I understand from God and from this meeting and how to work these steps and keep praying only. I asked God, let me touch somebody. Let somebody get something from a message that I give. God, please cover my mouth. Cover it. Because it's been dangerous. This mouth has been dangerous before. But you got to cover it. You got to keep it covered. I don't want to belittle nobody. I don't want to hurt nobody because I've been there. I don't want nobody to hurt me. I've been there. Cover me, oh God. The God of my understanding, He knows our heart. He knows He knows our heart. And thank God that He know my heart. I don't want to hurt nobody because I've been hurt. But I don't want you to hurt me. So, but I can't stop you from hurting me. So, you know, I had to get the knowledge of this whole 11 step. I had to get the knowledge from 1 to 10, and 11, and 12. And so I can carry the message out. And the power of His will for us to carry the message out. I can't do nothing without God. This ain't me. It's the God in me. It ain't me. I ain't power stroke no more. I ain't think I'm God give to God. I ain't on the level that I used to be. I'm humble. I'm forgiven. Because I forgive now the more than I ever did in my life. And I can forgive you and not say nothing, you know, not say nothing. I didn't like the way you did things, God, but you must have didn't like the way I did things too, God. You must have didn't like, God, how I was going to take my life, God, but you forgave me. You knew I was up under the influence of a disease of an addiction. And you helped me figure it out. You sent some peoples to me. That's how we carry the message out. When we go to the meetings, we carry the message. We telling somebody that this program works, you ain't never got to use again. It's only for your will and to get an understanding how this program works. You can't go on your will and try to work this program. Let me tell you. You can't go on your will and try to work this program. It won't happen. This program, everything that it reads and it gives you suggestions on what to do, it tells you the truth. Sometimes we have to turn things over. Because my will, I mess it up. So when it came to the part to where it says right here, conscious contact with God, you know, this step made me look at why I needed to keep improving. Why I had to continue to prove. I continue to prove. I continue to study. I continue to read. I continue to go to meetings. I continue to talk to my sponsor. I continue to, if somebody asks me to do some work or service work, I'll do it. I've done it in life. Hey, after these, hey man, I done so much service work in the NA in recovery. Because you know when I came in, I used to just go to it was crazy. I used to go to just CA meetings. And then I used to go to AA meetings. Alcohol Anonymous. But then when I got to NA meetings, they say, oh, that covers everything. That covers the cocaine, it covers the pills, that covers the alcohol. It's all a drug. That made sense. But I still see people who just go to AA because they didn't do drugs. But see, what I found out about this disease, I don't know if y'all know like I know. This disease, I tell you all I do is alcohol. That's all I did. But then sooner or later that alcohol will go to drugs. Put it a little more. Alcohol will go to drugs. Then it'll go to pills. And then it'll go to anything you can get your hands on just so you can get high. That's why they say this counting and baffling. It'll trick you. It tricked me. Do you know how many black eyed peas I bought when I thought I was buying crack cocaine? Do you know how I'm a addict? And we had to sought through prayer and meditation. I sought through prayer. I mean, when you're talking about sought through prayer, that means you're alone. That means you listening. That means you want God to help, strengthen you, help you, hold you up when you think you're going to fall. You know, and it's going to come to them points too in our life, because I thought I was going to fall many times when I lost loved ones. Because loved ones was a part of my family practically all my life. And I had to learn how to live without a mama and without my son. But this program taught me all I had to do was have a conversation with God, and He'll work it out. And He have worked it out. I'm praying only. I also didn't leave out while I was praying to God and meditation to God. I didn't leave out that I needed to understand Him on my terms. On what I see about God, what I understand about God, what I know about God, of my understanding. And I asked Him for the knowledge. Why did I need knowledge? Because when you get out and you tell other people how this program works, and they ain't never got to use again, no matter what, you got to have some knowledge. You got to went through something. You got to be done picked up some new answers. You got to be done picked up a new foundation to tell somebody and to carry the message out. People carry their message out different. Long as you keep it the way it's supposed to be. I remember when I first came in, people would say, Renee, you can't do that. You can't mention Jesus. Renee, you can't do that. Renee, you can't. You know, I was a newcomer, so I didn't know. Teach me. Sometimes I got my feelings hurt because what is this? I thought I was going to be able to come in the program and find out how I can use just a little bit and stop. And they like, Renee, you crazy. This program is for people that's done hit rock bottom, that never have to use again, never want to use again. I sounded real stupid telling this person, going in this program is going to teach me how to control the drug and the alcohol. Or maybe I can take some medication that would, cure me from using drugs. And ain't no cure. Ain't no cure. Only cure I know is if I don't pick up, then that's my cure. I ain't got to pick up. If I don't pick up, then that's my cure. If I don't pick up and realize that I have an addiction, the disease of an addiction, as long as I don't pick it up, long as I don't let the enemy trick me to go get it and pick it up, I ain't never got to use. I'm going to stay clean. And I've been saying that for over a decade. I ain't never got to use again. They right, you don't. When I saw through prayer, I was seeking to change. I wanted some change. I wanted some stability in my life. I wanted to stop being that dressed up lie. I saw through prayer and told God, I'm tired. I need your help. I'm losing me. I need to find me all over again because I done lost me, God. I'm seeking. I need to go in the closet. My kids used to say I was crazy. Especially Wayne Pooh, my baby son. Mama, why you in the closet? Hey, Mama, why you in the closet? I'm meditating. They thought I was crazy, but I wasn't crazy. I was learning how to live. I was learning how to get in a dark place. And see, let me tell you why I went into the closet. I went into the closet. I do that today. I go in my closet, close my door, go in my closet. And I have a big old thing full of number of water and juices in my closet. And I sit in there. And the light, it's dark in the closet, right? But let me tell you why I do that. To let it be a reminder that I don't never have to be in a dark place that I don't want to be. Because see, when I get in that dark place and it's a dark closet, something happened in that place. I don't forget all about it's dark. I start talking to God and meditating. It ain't about being dark. It's about having a connection with God in a place where I used to be scared to be in. See, I wanted God to help me with all the things that I couldn't figure out or help myself with. Or go in the bathroom and cut the light off. Sit on the toilet. God don't care where you're at when you come to him. All he want to do is hear you and help you. And he can't help you if you don't help yourself. Come on, Renee. You can't help yourself. I couldn't have did it unless I wanted to help. I couldn't have stayed clean for all these years and met all the peoples I know. I couldn't have did that if I wanted to play game Russian roulette. I can't do that. When you play Russian roulette, you're going to get shot. Not with a gun. Just shot with how it turns out. So, praying only for the knowledge. I was praying for the knowledge of his will for us to, and the power to carry the message out. And I've been standing on it. I ain't never used it. Y'all don't have to use. Let me tell you something. Being clean is a test too. Being clean is one of the biggest tests you're going to go through. Why you say that, Renee? Okay, let me tell you why I said that. Being clean, things going to happen. And when things happen, we can't drink. We can't use. We can't do none of that. So what do? Look at the situation. Have a talk with the God of my understanding. Start using that brain that's clear now. It ain't foggy. Ain't nobody, and it's crazy though, because when I got clean, I started hearing voices that was loud. I don't know if y'all went through that, but see, you ain't me and I ain't y'all. Seemed like when I got clean, I started hearing these real loud voices. And I remember telling y'all sometimes that, the one on the right ear, I didn't listen to. It got loud. I didn't listen to that. But that one on the left ear, it told me some good news. It told me about some things I needed to do. But that one on the right ear was always confusing and loud and chaotic and wanted me to go back and use again. So when we get clean, all of a sudden things start happening. And I noticed that when I improved my conscious contact with him, he had to show me why things was happening like that. He had to show me why that I would go to a place and spend a whole paycheck just to get high. He had to show me. And what he showed me, I didn't hear at first, but when I came into treatment, I understood it. He showed me that I didn't have accountability to surrender and face the challenges of what I had become. You have to learn how to face some things that you created, that you done. We can't put the blame on all the drugs. People say, well, the drug made me get high. No. Your behavior and the way you look at things and the way you challenge things and the way you didn't do things, what got you high. Because as long as that crack is over there or that alcohol, that liquor store is over there, that liquor store ain't coming to me. I got to get to the liquor store. So I'm not blaming everything. I'm not blaming all the chaotic stuff and the things I've done in my life and how low I got and how I stooped down to get the drug of my choice. I'm not giving that all to the drug. I'm not giving it all to it. When I'm telling you the disease of an addiction is counting and baffling. And once you understand that, and once I surrender, I open up a door for change. I'm so glad of my change. I'm so glad ain't nobody got to pat me on the back. I walk with my head up high. I ain't got to pretend like I got something and I don't. If I ain't got it, I ain't got it. And I can get it though. It don't mean I can't get it. Don't mean y'all can't get it. It's just I ain't got it right now. And see, right now is good for me too, because it teach me how to be patient and understanding. So when I saw through prayer, I was praying for things like that. God, I need you to work. Come on, God. Work on my patience. Help me to show me how I can work on my patience. Show me how I don't have to break. Show me. And he showed me so much about me. When God get to moving in your life and he start making things happen and start putting the right peoples in your life and removing the ones that didn't mean you no good, or they was there for just a season and a time for your life, he'll move them. And then he'll start bringing other peoples that's going to be nurturing, loving, kind. I can see through peoples now. I ain't no psychic. I ain't no psychic. Don't let no go tell nobody that Renee says she was a psychic. It's just I got a personal relationship with God, and he do show me things, and he do make me aware. He know bud. Now he know I know bud mess when I see it. I didn't used to see it because I was so entwined of getting high. But when you get clean, you see everything. Hey, my grandkids came up here, and let me show you how God can just change your life at any given minute of the day, all day. And the kids like, oh grandmama, you ain't gonna get on there. You ain't gonna get on the roller coaster. This was just last year. You ain't gonna get out of the roller coaster. I take them every year, and I'm gonna tell y'all too. If y'all got kids, take them out to Bay Beach. And it's real cheap. It's like I can get $100. I can get $50. I can get $100 worth of tickets. But anyway, we go out there, and they thought they was tricking me. Granny, I know you ain't bad. I know you ain't finna get on that roller coaster. I know you ain't. Hey, Miss Maddie, I know you ain't. Sought through prayer and meditation. God to deliver, God, God deliver me from fear. God for now, not because they dared me. It wasn't about that. It was because I remember seeking and I sought through prayer for God to deliver me from any fear. Only person I want to fear is the fear of God. I don't fear man. I don't fear nothing else. But I do fear God. If I'm doing something I ain't got no business. And before you know it, I turned around and I said, okay, God, that was one of my prayer and meditation that I used to pray to you about is fear. Now they think they tricking me. So when I got up there and got on that on that roller coaster, sought through prayer. See, I remember this prayer because this prayer that I was talking to God about is one of the prayers that kept me getting high, and that was fear. That was fear, y'all. And I got on that roller coaster, and my grandkid was looking at me like I had lost my mind. And I got on there, and I said, God, now I ask you to deliver fear from me, but I ain't going to do this one no more. I ain't going to do it. I did it. I did it. Sought through prayer can change anything. Why do we have to sought through prayer? Because prayer gives us energy. Prayer, talking to God, having a personal relationship with God. And see, I can have a relationship with God that I can't even have with my own sister or brother. Because I can be honest, open-minded, and willingness to tell them the truth, the whole dirty truth. So help me God. The truth! Hey, Wanda Jones, good to see you. When it says sought through prayer and meditation, I do that today. I meditate all the time. I pray to God and ask God, come on, be my deliverance of things that I can't change. The only thing that I knew that I changed was picking up drugs and alcohol. And not letting people get in my head. And not hurting myself over and over again. It's so many. I said one, but I can go on down the line of what I have worked on myself in order to understand what it is to meditate to God as we see Him. Everybody have a personal relationship with God. I know my relationship with God is awesome because I hear from Him all the time. I talk to Him all the time. He give me answers, and when I came into, when you come into a treatment and you start working these steps, if you don't get an understanding of this, that we sought through prayer and meditation. And I told you why we sought through prayer and meditation, because we broken. We need a change. We need some help. We need an understanding. We need a deliverance. We need Him to come in and just have a personal and connection with God. Ain't nobody included, God. It's just me and you. I don't want nobody else in this prayer or this meditation. It's just me and you. Because see, if somebody else is here, it's going to interfere. And I can't tell all my dirty secrets. And I can't tell everything that I did. I can't tell you how I did it. So I don't want nobody's. That's why this meditation is just only good for you and Him. And then meditation is when you come in and you want to tell God, I'm sorry. God, I'm sorry for doing what I did. I'm repenting for what I did. I did this, God. Help me with this, God. I'm surrendering to all the ugly things I've done and all the things that I didn't do that I should have did. So I like what Maddie said, when you repent, that's the best gift you can get yourself. Because can't nobody hold it over your head. You didn't ask God for forgiveness, and if He done forgave you and you repenting on what you done, and I tell the God of my understanding all the time, God, I'm so sorry what I did 10 years ago and nobody knew about it but you and me. I'm so sorry. And once God forgive you, it's a done deal. He don't hold you hostage. He ain't going to say, well, you got to repent again or you got to say you sorry again. Once you say you sorry and you mean it, it's a done deal. We sought through prayer and meditation to improve. We always need to improve our conscious contact with God. Stay connected. Because if you lose him, you done lost everything. If you think it's on your will and you don't need God, then you done lost. The God of, it says, to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him. And I was glad when they said we. Because that don't mean that we all talking to him in the same way and asking for the same thing. It says, but we, as I understand God, as you understand God. You know, I got a good relationship with God and I want to keep it. You know, I don't want to ever use again. I've been there and done that. Let me see what time it is. Okay. So my thing is, it says we understood. It says conscious contact with God as we understood him. Praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry the message out. That's why we got, look. That's why we got to have, that's why we saw through prayer and meditation when we dealing with these steps. It's because we got to make sure we get it right. We got to make sure we have the right conversation and get the right answers. And we know we're going to get them from God. And then we got to make sure that we have that connection and that meditation with God. You know, I love that I can meditate with God any given day, anytime. It don't need no certain minute or hour. I love it that I can go in my closet. I love that I can talk to God and tell him all about my troubles in this week. All about my ups and downs this week. You know, I love it to where I can carry the message out and tell somebody. I do that all the time. Ain't a day that I don't carry a message out. Because I'm always seeing people in Walmart, Walgreens, wherever I go, a 7 Mile Fair, wherever I go. Oh, Mr. Renee, and then they'll come up to me, Mr. Renee, guess what? This is, you know, look what happened. What do you think I should do? And I tell them, I can't tell you what to do. I can just suggest what you can do. When God come in your life and he changed your life to where you used to, you know, I remember where I didn't hardly go to want to go out of town and want to go nowhere. Now that you living, now that you clean, now that you can see clearly, now that you understand what life is really about, you don't take no wooden nickels. You don't take no wooden nickels. We got, you know, life is here. We had to change in order to change. And we had to make a difference. I had to change. I would have been dead if I hadn't. I had to change. I had to leave the drugs, the alcohol. I ain't finna leave no alcohol alone and continue to do drugs. And I ain't gonna leave no drugs and pill alone and continue to do alcohol. You know, all of it is a drug. And you know, if one, you can't do it. I tried it. I tried to stop doing crack. Then I kept drinking more. I tried to stop drinking, but I kept popping pills even more. So one addiction lead to many addiction, and I had many, you know. And I love that I am. Oh, it's after 3. I love where I'm at today, and I thank y'all so much. I hope that this message came out to you. Anytime you recovering, you know, you got to have the knowledge to give, you know, to give a message to help other newcomers, because they still coming in, y'all. Newcomers still, when I go to meeting, they still coming in. It's still bad. It's just bad. And it's coming in. I have to say, oh God, I thank you. Bless them, help them. You know, so thank y'all so very much. And next week we will be on step 12. Oh, this one too. This is at that last step, and this last step would really helped me a lot to understand there is a God of my understanding, and he works things out through us and help us. And haven't had a spiritual awakening of the results of these steps would try to carry the message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. All the principles, all the steps. Try to tell it right. Try to tell it, tell it like it is. And in all our affairs of who we come around, who we talk to. So that we will be on next week on Tuesday night. Happy Easter to everybody. I thank y'all so very much for being a part of my life. From Charlotte, from Maddie, from Wanda Jones, from my sister, from Cynthia, from my godmama. I thank y'all, because I always don't take this for granted. Hey, Stella, because people can be doing something different, and when you come up here and you show me that you love me, because if you know me, I'm going to keep it real. And I always include my pain, my hurt, my joy, and my peace in it. That's the only way it's going to help another. I can't get on here pretending like everything is okay every day. Everything is okay all the time, because it's not. And because we get clean don't mean things going to stay good and better forever. No. If it did, we wouldn't have no reason to want to stay clean. To stay clean, that means that we finna come, something finna happen, some storms finna come through, just to see how much we can handle, just to see how much and how far will we go to not use. And I'll go very far, because I ain't using. That's out. That ain't even in my story. Did that, done that, hurt, I'm broken. And now the God that molded me and fixed me up, I am so gratified to him, the God of my understanding. I forgot to mention before I leave, to the ones that lost a loved one due to addiction, we must live. I lost a son due to addiction, and we must continue to live, because we have to know what our purpose is, and our purpose is we have to find it out. I found my purpose. I know what my purpose is. And I know I'm never going to use again. I've showed y'all that. I've showed me that. I've showed my family that. No matter what hurt, what I thought that used to would break me, it didn't break me no more. I found how to use these tools to help me with hurt. With hurt, y'all, with pain. Because I couldn't used to deal with hurt and pain or rejection. That was very bad for me. Rejection was bad for me. I tell you, I used because you rejected me. And I don't have to do that. And I get rejected. And I'm okay. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good Easter. Stay safe. See y'all Friday. If ain't nobody told you they love you, tell them Miss Renee says she love you. Y'all don't know the blessing that comes with not drinking and using drugs. There's miracles around the corner all the time. And you are the miracle. As long as you don't pick up. You'll tell me about it sooner or later. Love y'all. Good night. Good evening. I'm finna go eat. And y'all, hope y'all have something to eat. If y'all don't, I got plenty of food over here for my peoples. God bless you. Talk to you soon.